Hey YouTube, how's it going? I'm still Inferno. I'm back with another video. And if you guys like what you're gonna see in this video, definitely make sure to drop a like. Let me know if you have any questions or anything in the comments below. Tell me what you think of this here zero cycle that you're gonna see. And yeah, definitely make sure to hit the subscribe button so we can, see this channel grow and we can have more stuff, more content coming out. So in today's video, I figured I'd kind of go into not just the zero cycle showcase, but kind of more so breaking it down into how I go about zero cycling. So yeah, this is going to be a bit of an informational video as well as just a showcase. So just to kind of start, what does it mean to zero cycle? So we're here in MOC, which is the Memory of Chaos. We're on floor 12, which is or stage 12, which is of course the hardest stage. So basically, these are your win conditions essentially. Like you got your 1-star, 2-star, and 3-star. So at minimum, in order to quote unquote beat the MOC, you have to get at least one of these. And then, the more you progress in the game, maybe you get to 2, and then when you're at, I guess more so like your account's more so in like in-game state, I suppose, you'll be able to 3-star. So 3-starring means that you beat MOC with 20 cycles left with no down characters, which means that you have the damage, the sustain to keep your characters alive, and the damage to beat the MOC bosses within 10 cycles. So 5 cycles on floor 1 here and 5 cycles on floor 2. That's your 3-star. Now, some people like to go a bit above and beyond that, and they like to see, well, okay, I can 3-star consistently, but how many cycles can I clear MOC in? Or how many cycles can I clear a certain floor in MOC in? So that's where you start getting into your low cycle clears, your 3 cycles, your 2 cycles, and then you have your 0 cycle clears. So what that means is this floor here or this floor here, whichever one you pick, or you can do both if your account is just that cracked. But I'm gonna be showcasing the Cocolia floor. So my objective here is to beat every enemy in this floor in 0 cycles, and we'll see more about that when I actually get into it. But yeah, so just to kind of go into it, here's my team. Now this MOC has been much harder than the previous MOCs for sure. Like you guys have seen, I was 0 cycled with Silver Wolf, I was 0 cycled with Acheron with sustain, but this one, it's so hard that I have to go completely in on damage. So as you can see, I have Acheron here as the damage dealer. She's literally the best DPS in the game, and again, that tells you, either how hard it is or how maybe lacking my account is. The fact that I can't do this with other characters. I can clear it in 5 cycles with other characters for sure. But I definitely can't zero. The only team that I can 0 cycle with is this one. And I've tried a few different teams, but yeah, this is the only one that I can somewhat consistently 0 cycle. So again, we have Acheron for the DPS. We have Silver Wolf. Now mine is E6 and S5, so of course she's going to be also providing quite a bit of DPS. But her main role here is the debuffer to give Acheron her stacks, so that way she can ult faster. And of course, Silver Wolf is really good at applying debuffs, and her debuffs are really potent at making the enemy weaker and take more damage. And then we have Sparkle here to boost up Ron May and of course make both her and Silver Wolf stronger. And there's a lot of synergy there since Silver Wolf is a quantum character. Sparkle of course gives her extra attack and stuff like that. And then we have Ron May. So as you can see, this level here is Quantum and Lightning. So we have a Lightning DPS, a Quantum DPS, and their elements don't really matter since they're basically just there for support. But if we get into it, every enemy here has both Lightning and Quantum weakness, which is really good because this guy right here, this dinosaur, you need to break his shields. Because if you don't, he takes way less damage, so breaking his shields makes him take way more damage. And that's why you want to have those elements. So of course we're doing that with our DPSs here. And then Quantum, she won't ever basic attack, and Ron May, she may basic attack here and there when she doesn't need the skill, but it won't really do too much. I think that's mostly it. Kind of explained how zero cycling works and kind of my strategy going into it. So yeah, let's go ahead and start it up and I'll show you my setup for it. Alright, so here we are in the MOC. We're starting in here. So as you can see right here, we have 30 remaining cycles because of course we just started. So when I finish the fight, I still want to have 30 cycles because that means that I cleared it in 0 cycles. So let's go ahead and we'll get started here. So we have Ron May. We're going to use her technique. I'll probably throw up the descriptions of their techniques up on screen so you can kind of understand what they're doing here. So we're going to use her technique. And then we're going to use Sparkle's technique. And then we're going to go ahead and do Acheron's technique. I always like to do the 3 different slashes. It doesn't really... It's only the slash that hits her that matters, but it just looks better when you do the 3. So one thing about zero cycling is that there's definitely some RNG built into it. So as you can see here, we have Acheron's debuffs on the dinosaur. And while I do want to end up breaking this dinosaur's toughness here with quantum and lightning attacks, I really want these debuffs to be over here because I want to focus on breaking this guy and killing this guy so that way he doesn't spawn his minions to do damage to my team, because we're not running a sustainer, which is like a healer or a tank, someone that can keep my team alive. So we're trying to mitigate damage as much as possible while also dealing as much damage to the enemy as much as possible. So in this scenario, I'm gonna have to reset. And there's gonna be a few points where if certain things happen, I'll just have to reset, because that's kind of what zero cycling is. Beating LLC is one thing, but zero cycling is just a different ball game, really. So yeah, we're gonna do Ron May, we're gonna do Sparkle, and then we're gonna... I love that technique so much.
Existence is unity. The game is on.
And as you can see, we got the stacks over here, which is exactly what we want. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use Sparkle skill to pull Acheron, as you can see right here. And then of course Acheron, she's E2, or my Acheron is E2, so she'll get an extra stack whenever her turn starts. So we're gonna skill on him to get the 9 stacks that we need for her ultimate, like this. But we're not gonna use it just yet because we want to use Silverwolf's skill, which will put more debuffs on him. And she also put the special debuff with her light cone that makes the enemy take 20% more damage. So we're gonna go ahead and skill to put that debuff on. And then we'll use Acheron's ult. So this is just gonna break this guy real quick and deal a ton of damage as well. And it's gonna reduce his shield as well a little bit. Let's go ahead and do that. Hit 1, hit 2, 3, and boom. Okay, so here we are.
Grace and elegance.
So yeah, he's almost dead, and his shield is more than halfway broken. And another reason why Ron May here is such a good addition to this team is that she allows allies to further reduce enemy shield toughness than normal. So without Ron May on the team, he wouldn't have been broken there. So that's another reason why Ron May is so good for this team. And of course, we're gonna go ahead and pop her skill to get our ult up.
Existence is unity. Every petal in
pop her
life,
ult.
all will be swept away.
Just deals a ton, or it's gonna allow the team to do way more damage. Now, ideally, I really wish that I would have broken him or killed him, so that way that wouldn't have happened. But I think we can go ahead and make this happen anyway. So what we're going to do now is we're going to skill with Sparkle. And as you can see, her ult meter is almost full. This skill will fill it. And then we're going to ult with Sparkle to get more skill points, because that's how her ult works. And then with her ult, or with her skill, we're going to pull up Acheron again. And then we're going to ult to get more skill points and increase the teams, well, increase these 2 overall damage. But she gives it to everyone, but it's only really applicable for Acheron and Silverwolf, of course. So we're gonna go ahead and skill here. I'm gonna skill on this guy because it's gonna hit the both of them. I really want this guy to die, and I want to reduce this guy's shield as much as possible. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. So he's dead. Shield's reduced, and there we go. So now we're gonna skill with Silver Wolf, and then ult.
This combat needs optimizing.
And we're hoping to get the kill here, but let's see.
This is double speed.
So as you can see, we didn't get the kill. So that's another one of those skill point or RNG checks, I guess, that needed to kill in order to still be in the 30th cycle. Because now we're in the 29th cycle.
Waiting means change.
Yeah. So again, we're gonna have to reset, unfortunately, and hope that we are able to get it next time. So just gonna go ahead and skill here for ult. Then we're gonna skill with Silver Wolf, and then we are going to ult. Now we might get the kill here. Okay, that's good. Yeah, so we got the kill. Alright, so we're doing well so far. We got the debuffs on the right enemy, and we were able to get the kill. Silver Wolf's looking pretty low, so we definitely want to kill this guy before he can do any damage. Or, yeah, she might die. But we also have the whole other stage of this to worry about, so yeah, we'll see. So, of course, another one of the RNG things is, are they going to continuously attack the same character? Because that can happen where one character just gets focused and they die. Because we're not running sustain, so that's kind of the risk we're running here, trying to get the zero cycle clear. So that's just kind of a part of the game. So we're gonna go ahead and skill here to get the ult. We're gonna pop her ult.
And all will be swept away by the wind.
And you can see the sakura trees, or the sakura blooms from the trees in the background. It lets you know that Ron May's ult is up, which is a really cool thing. It just looks really cool, adds a lot of ambiance to the scene. And then we're gonna skill with Sparkle to bring Ron May back up.
Another journey.
Ult with Sparkle for damage and skill points. Now we're going to pop her skill.
Destined for oblivion.
Okay, so this is another one of those RNG checks. If Silver Wolf's skill is able to break his shield, like you saw in the last one, Silver Wolf's skill didn't break his shield, so we weren't able to get the kill because he wasn't taking enhanced damage. But we should, yeah, and you can tell the shield's gonna break when it looks like that. We're gonna break his shield. And then the MOC buff happened there. So the MOC buff basically just dealt damage to him. Now we're gonna go ahead, even though her ult's up, we're gonna go ahead and basic attack with Ron May just so we can get a little bit of energy for her. And then we will immediately ult with Silver Wolf, because if we don't, we'll be in the 29th cycle versus the 30th like we currently are. So we're going to basic attack and then immediately pop Silver Wolf's ult, and this should kill.
This is double speed.
Yep, 320 damage. It did indeed kill. Now right here, perfect. We were hoping for the debuffs to be on the dinosaur mob right here, which they are. So we're gonna go ahead and skill with Sparkle, pull Acheron right on up here. She has her ult available, but I'm gonna go ahead and use skill just to go ahead and break shield a little bit, and then we ult.
I weep for the departed.
So yeah, let's go ahead and do a bit of damage here.
It too shall fall.
Okay, and we didn't quite. Oh, so that's not the best, but fortunately we are about to break this guy, so he won't be able to come in and do any more damage for the time being. And yeah, it's just one of those things, like, is Silver Wolf gonna die? Is she not? We don't know, but we're gonna have to find out, unfortunately. So we're gonna go ahead and we can either skill or we can basic attack. My thought process here, and this is one of those things that can take a little bit of time to try and figure out, right? Because if I skill, or if I basic attack, I break his shield, so that's good. But if I skill, I do a bit more damage, but I use up a skill point. So if we skill with her, we're gonna basic attack with Ron May because we have no reason to skill because her skill is still active and her ult. But yeah, her skill is still active. And then we can go to Sparkle, who is gonna skill every single time. So we'll be at 1 for here. We'll go back up to 2. We can skill down to 1, and then we'll be 1 skill point for Acheron. I think I'm gonna go ahead and basic attack just to go ahead and give myself a skill point, and we're gonna break him anyway. So, actually, hang on. Let's see. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and basic here just to break this guy, so he hopefully doesn't do damage. And that pushed him all the way back down to the 29th cycle, so that's really good. Glad we did that. I mean, we're gonna break him regardless. It was just whether or not we wanted to break him and get a skill point, or break him and use a skill point. So we have Ron May can just basic attack anyone here. Doesn't particularly matter.
Let's play for a while.
So now we can go ahead and skill to bring up Acheron. So let's go ahead. We will. Let's see. So we're gonna have enough to have our ult up, because she's at 6. She's gonna get 2, and then Silverwolf's gonna come in. Okay, I think we got it. So we're gonna go. Even though our stacks are a bit split up, unfortunately. Yeah, no, we should be fine. So we're gonna go ahead and use skill on Cocolia to build stacks there.
For oblivion.
And really hope. Okay, she didn't kill Silverwolf. Perfect. She didn't kill Silverwolf here. So we should be able to ult on someone and then have Acheron come in and clean up the rest. So we're gonna.
I've got a raid to get to. Let's finish this.
Alright, so I'm gonna try and kill this guy. I'm gonna see if I can skill and ult with Silverwolf and kill this guy to get those stacks over to Cocolia, and then we'll ult with Acheron to finish things up. So let's go ahead and give that a shot. So we're gonna skill here. Can we get the ult? Okay, we got the ult.
This combat needs optimizing.
We got the ult, so we're gonna go ahead and kill this guy, and then we're gonna go ahead and pop Acheron's ult now, just so we make sure that, you know, we keep the 0 cycle. So we're gonna ult this guy.
This is double speed.
He's gonna die. Yep.
I weep for the departed.
280k damage from Silverwolf, by the way. That's really good. So yeah, we should clear things out here. There it is. 500k damage, single target from Acheron. And yeah, that is the 0 cycle. And again, you can tell because it says remaining cycles, 30, which means we didn't take any for the first clear. Now, yeah, that's gonna be it for the 0 cycle. Let's go ahead and get kind of into character builds. So we have Acheron, her S1 light cone. She is fully maxed out except for her basic because I never basic with her. Essentially, we have her relics. Basically, her best in slot relics: Izumo Gensei for the planar set, and then Pioneer Diver of Dead Waters for the relic set. You can see, and she, of course, is E2. That's why. So her E1 gives her more crit rate against debuffed enemies, which, you know, in this team, any enemy she's going to be hitting is going to be debuffed essentially. And then we have E2 here. Without E2, she would want to have 2 Nihility characters to boost her damage up as much as possible. But with her E2, she only needs 1 Nihility to get the max damage boost, which allows her to run 1 Nihility and 1 allows her to run 1 Nihility and 1 Harmony character, which is, so we have our Nihility here, which you can see, you know, here's her kind of, I guess, like her name tag, Nihility, Silverwolf. And then we have our Harmony here, Sparkle. And then we have another Harmony as Ron May, because we needed that much buffing to get the damage in order to 0 cycle that MOC. Definitely one of the harder ones. But yeah, let's go ahead and get back into characters. Of course, we have my E6 S5 Silverwolf here, so you can see her super in position 5 there. Basically just gives her more crit rate, more effect hit rate, and whenever she attacks an enemy, it basically gives them a debuff that makes them take 20% more damage, which is really cool. She is completely maxed out because she makes use of her skill, ultimate, basic attack, everything, so it's really good. Of course, she is running Genius of Brilliant Stars for the increased quantum damage, and then whenever she deals damage to an enemy, she ignores 10% defense. And if the enemy has a quantum weakness, an extra 10% defense ignore, which is like defense ignore is really good in this game. So that's why she's running that. Also, she's a quantum character, so it's the best in slot for your quantum DPSs. And then we have Inertial Salto. Of course, the extra ultimate damage and crit rate, really good there. And of course, she is indeed E6. Silverwolf at E0 is not meant to be a DPS. She's not meant to be hitting 200, 300k on an enemy. Like an E0 Silverwolf is gonna hit like 10k because you're not even gonna build her for crit. She's basically just there to implant debuffs, so you're gonna build her effect hit rate. But throughout her Eidolon tier, she moves much more so into a damage dealer, which is what I like about Silverwolf. That's why I E6'd her, because I thought she was such a cool character, and just the fact that her E6 turned her from basically a debuffing kind of support into a DPS, it was really good for me. So yeah, that's what I did. Now we can go on to my Sparkle here. She has her own light cone at S1. So important details for her are her speed. She's at 160. And she has 208 crit damage. So of course she gives crit damage to whoever she uses her skill on, and then her speed allows her to go multiple times. Usually in MOC you want faster characters, especially your DPS, but Sparkle basically acts as Acheron's turn giver. That's why Acheron is extremely slow. She's at her base speed with no speed in her relics whatsoever. She doesn't need it because of Sparkle, so that's really good. Silverwolf she's okay, and then she's, you know, obviously she's built for crit because she's E6, and we already went over that. We went ahead and maxed everything. She's never gonna basic attack, but we had the materials, so you know, why not? And then we have her relics. She's on a rainbow set, which means just different pieces. Like there's no real set bonus here that matters. Like she's not an imaginary character, she's quantum, so that does nothing for her. And I don't even think she has enough effect resistance. Yeah. She's basically entirely rainbow to give her the 160 speed with 208 crit damage, which that's a pretty good build. Now, I wish that I did have a full set on her. I would run this set on her because it increases speed, and then whenever she uses her ultimate on an ally, everyone's speed increases by 12% for one turn. Yeah, that would be really good. And then of course for this, actually this set would be really good if she had the 30% effect res, because then everyone would be getting 10% more crit damage. So that'd be good for her. That would be good for Acheron and Silverwolf. So that would be really good. And this is just where we're at right now. And then she is E1, basically makes her ult last one more turn and extra attack. It basically makes it so her ult is always up, like the little swirling things you saw around, like the swirling fish that you saw around the characters. That was her ult effect, and it was basically always up. So now we're gonna get into the last character for this team, Miss Ron May. So we have a dance on her, which is basically it's a very simple description here actually. When the wearer uses their ultimate, all allies' actions are advanced forward by 24%. So if you saw on the little turn meter there in the corner, whenever she used her ult, my allies kind of jumped up a bit. Yeah, that's because of this here light cone. This is a very good light cone, especially for a 4-star. Very good light cone indeed. And now we have her traces. Again, her basic attack is completely unleveled because, you know, she doesn't really need it. Everything else is maxed though. She is running completely break effect. Yeah, she's just really really on that break effect. 219 to be exact. She does have some ERR, and her speed is 121, so kind of slow, but she doesn't need to be particularly fast. She's definitely good where she's at because she pops her skill, or she pops her ult, and then she doesn't really go again, so that way the ult stays up longer. And she doesn't have any eidolons. Now when she comes back around eventually in the gacha, I might roll for her E1 because it's just more damage. And yeah, I might also roll for her signature light cone because it also seemed really good. But yeah, that was pretty much my characters. This is probably going to be the longest video that you guys have seen from me so far. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed kind of my thoughts behind what it takes for me to zero cycle, even though this one was a bit of an outlier because it was so much more difficult than other zero cycles that I've done in the past. But yeah, I think it was a pretty good video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. If you have any comments or anything, let me know what you guys thought about my zero cycle run and kind of my thought process going into it. Leave that stuff down in the comments. And of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that way you can see more stuff from me in the future. Yeah, that's going to be it for the video today, guys, and keep it burning.
I weep for the departed. It too shall fall.